Have you ever sat down to write a song only to find that you have no idea where to start? Stick around to learn the tool that we use to make sure that we never get stuck. In fact, when we use this trick, it has gotten us more than one song out of the same idea multiple times. In this episode, we're going to talk again about the 5 stages of a song, and you will learn what an object write is. We'll show you 2 very different real-world examples of how we do it from our song, Shimmy Down Our Chimney. Stay to the end to find out why we were crazy enough to write 50 holiday songs in 2 months. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can follow us along as we produce all of these songs, for better or for worse.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Song Evolvers show, where we share the songwriting process from start to finish. I'm Bronwyn.
I'm Kerri.
All right, it's going to keep coming up. What the difference between a work tape and a demo fully produced song is. We've got these sketches. They don't sound good. They don't sound like anything. You do it with a phone recorder, whatever. Just get the idea on there because we're throwing stuff at the wall. We're seeing what sticks. Pull that out. Then you get what we call a work tape. I'm going to play you a little bit of that. And this is what our arranger sent us. This is really just to we got all the chords. Somebody's playing the guitar. The form is set. And it's also not the final singer.
My stocking is hung on the mantle. Poured some wine and lit a candle. I settled down from my long winter's nap, 'cause I knew you wouldn't make it back.
So that's our work tape. Everything is like straight through, all the way through the song. We have a chart. You take the work tape and then you have a demo. A demo is what you would send to a producer or a publisher or whoever.
Yeah, it's the concept of the song, the way it was intended, but it leaves a lot of room for creative interpretation, which is where a producer comes in.
Great. I love that definition. That's great. People say demo, but they mean work tape. People say work tape, but they mean demo. What we're talking about, you heard the work tape. This is the demo. And this is Kerri singing.
Oh, yeah.
My stocking is hung on the mantle. Poured some wine and lit a candle. Settled down from my long winter's nap, 'cause I knew you wouldn't make it back. Santa, would you shimmy down our chimney? I really wish you were here with me. Oh, Santa, would you shimmy down our chimney? Shimmy down our chimney on Christmas Eve.
That's what the demo sounds like. Like you can hear there's stuff missing. There's like stuff that's implied there, but it's not as like dirty as it's definitely not as dirty as the sketch. Somebody could take that and like give it to an arranger. An arranger is a person that puts all the stuff, like there's going to be a brass band, there's going to be strings. And then the final product, the fully produced song is
Santa, baby, don't be late. Oh, Santa, would you shimmy down the chimney?
So that's how a song evolves, if you will.
Yeah, and that's how the concept of Shimmy Down Our Chimney went from an idea all the way to a fully produced song.
If you guys want to actually listen to the difference between them, we did actually release and publish all of the demos from this project. You can check those out. Let us know what you think. Go listen to all of them. How did we start this project? So we just started this list on Evernote. We use this program called Evernote, and I am going to show you guys what it looks like.
This is our holiday brainstorm list.
It's our holiday.
We write in other genres too, but this was a holiday project.
All right. So this is our list of songs.
Song ideas.
Not songs. Song ideas. So it's literally just a brainstorm. Okay, so Kerri had this idea. Okay, you saw how long the list was. The list was so long. And somebody said, Santa Claus shimmy down the chimney? Is it our chimney? Is it the chimney? Is it my chimney?
Whose chimney? We didn't know.
And like just by changing that word, like you can go many different directions. So we just went, we actually wrote 2 songs. One is from a kid's perspective. What happens if Santa Claus can't get down my chimney because we don't have one? And like we live in an apartment and it's like a little bit sad, but cute. And anyway, Santa finds a way. He always finds a way.
Common dilemma.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure lots of kids ask that question every year. So the other version was, oh, it's Mrs. Claus. It's Shimmy Down Our Chimney. And I think that was Kerri's idea. So,
well, and the song was going so many different directions too. We just had to pick a lane
the
and
idea was
and
going different
and
directions.
go a direction. Yeah, and swim in it, stick to it.
Yeah. So we picked a lane for this one song to go, and it's called Shimmy Down Our Chimney. I'm going to play you just a little snippet of the finished result.
My stocking is hung on the mantle. Poured some wine and lit a candle. Settled down for my long winter's nap, 'cause I knew you wouldn't make it back. Santa, would you shimmy down a chimney? I really wish you were here with me. Oh, Santa, would you shimmy down a chimney?
Hey guys, before we get on to what an object right is, listen to our comparison playlists, linked below. Drum roll. This is what you came for, the object right. What do you do before you even start the 5 stages of song production? So does that make it stage 0 then? I guess so. We're going to show you the formal method and what I like to call the spaghetti method. It will take more sense in context. Stick around.
So let's talk about object writing. We had the idea of the song, and that the title was Shimmy Down Our Chimney. I like to write from a chorus. I found that I think I need to get a chorus down first, and then I'm able to build the rest of the song out from there. But object writing it gives me a bank of words and concepts to build out the song. I realized the other day it's kind of like finding all the edge pieces in a puzzle, for me at least. So like I've got all the edge pieces, and then I can branch out from there. But object writing is what I do. I start by making a list of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, kinesthetic movement, and body sensations. So I put those words on the top of a blank Evernote page. And so I say to myself, what does a chimney feel like? Like, it's dirty, grimy, smudgy, it's gritty. What does it smell like? Soot, coal, charcoal. So what does it taste like? And like, what is charcoal? I don't know what charcoal tastes like. So I try to think about, like, does it, like, body sensations? Like, I feel grimy on my skin if I'm touching chimney soot. But then not just chimneys necessarily, but what does shimmy? What does a shimmy look like, taste like, sound like, feel like? And so I go through all of those topics, and I set a timer for 10 minutes, and I just free write whatever comes out, but through that lens of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, kinesthetics, and body sensation.
Okay. So that timer element to me sounds important, but hard for me at least, because once I get like down a road, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this for like 20 more minutes. And then I look down and it's like 3 hours later and I'm like, crap, I gotta go to bed. But so you're really disciplined about that. Like,
yeah, I'll finish a sentence sometimes if there's something that's coming out, but then I make myself stop, and I object write sometimes several different times within a certain song, and it's to get me those foundational words and concepts for the song, so that I can take those and then go to a rhyme dictionary and look up, okay, what rhymes with chimney, shimmy, and build out from there with I'm very systematic about how I write.
You're way more systematic than I am.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, we have a running joke that like I will like just start typing stuff, and I'll be like, oh my god, that rhymed, and I'll just like keep going on that thing, and I will send Kerri this like thing that I'm like, hey, but this last paragraph is really cool, or it's not a paragraph, it's a stanza, and I'm like, hey, this is cool, and then I went off of that, and then usually I'll write like a bunch of verses of varying proximity to what we're aiming for, and then usually like 2 or 3 of them, or like a phrase from one of them, or something will jump out at me and I'll be like, no, that's where we're going, this is where we're going, and I'll pick that, and then I'll send it to Kerri and I'll be like, you can read through I don't even know if you read through the other stuff.
I do. Yep, I do.
Mm-hmm. And then Kerri's like, nope, don't need that, nope, don't need that, this is a good word, cool, and then she like makes it like into this beautiful little box.
Well, and that's what I do with the object writing, is I read back through it when I'm done and I pick out the good words that make sense, and then I move those over to another document, and then I'm starting to build that framework from the good pile of words that I have.
So I think you've told me this before anyway, that like I do object write, I just don't do it.
That's not formally. Yeah.
I'm not like getting all the sense in the sight, and I'm just vomiting words onto a page.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Cleaning up the word vomit, and making sense out of it.
Yeah.
There's a metaphor for you.
That's gross.
You're welcome.
We figured out where the song was headed. I got my picture frame or my puzzle pieces kind of outlined around it.
So I'm going to show you guys the first note of my version of an object write, and then I'll show you Kerri's object write. And once again, we use Evernote. Shout out to Evernote. If you guys want to sponsor us, that'd be awesome, because we use you all the time. So this is my first sketch. Like the idea was like Santa Baby, but not raunchy, and shimmy, shake down the chimney, just kind of playing with stuff. And like, these are ideas. And then I finally realized, like rewinding back to the beginning of the process, like, oh, this song is sung by Mrs. Claus. Like, duh.
Yep.
Like, because otherwise it'd just be weird. Like, it's just a weird situation no, I'm not even gonna say it. You guys can put that together in your heads if you want to. So I've got some stanzas. I hung my stocking with such care. It's lonely on the mantle, poured some wine and lit a candle. Oh, cool. Those all rhyme. I'm hoping you will soon be there. Not very catchy yet, but the idea is there. I don't remember what accompaniment I had or melody for this. It's been so long. I sent these to Kerri, and they're pretty clumsy, but now we've got Kerri's object write, which, okay, so she's got chimney, like she was talking about, wood, coal, ashes, smoke, boots, dusty, sleigh, reindeer, substitute driver. Oh, you want Santa to get a substitute driver to, got it.
So you write it all down and you don't judge it. That's the big thing about object writing is you write everyththing down. You don't judge any of it in the moment. That's for later. Because it lets your brain feel free and safe to say what's coming up.
You are not editing.
No editing. I'm just dumping onto my keyboard.
Yeah. So it's similar to our last episode where we talked about doing sketches, where you're not trying to be perfect, but with a sketch, you're actually like producing something. With the object write, it's just like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, kind of.
Yep.
Cool. You have the entire words to The Night Before Christmas on here. So
yes.
That's fun.
I copied that in just to get more ideas.
Yeah, and that's what your object write is for. And you've done this before on other songs too. Like one time we pulled in like all the wassailing, all the wassailing words from whatever that song is. I think that was one of our object writes for Mistletoasted.
It was, yes.
Y'all can check that one out too, wherever you get your music fix. In our last episode, we talked about sketches. This is a sketch. It's not going to sound great. It's just like, get the idea out, remember what it sounds like, record it on this so we can like have records of it. But that's kind of how we roll. Verse 2 melody.
I know that I shouldn't be jealous. What you do for the kids is selfless.
So this is where the melody for the actual song comes in, where we get this.
Is hung on the mantle, poured some wine and lit a candle.
Different verse, of course, but that's where the song really started to come together, because it's like, okay. And it's kind of like the object write for melody too. It's like, mess with this, mess with that, record it, see what it sounds like, and then something sticks. So after all of this, like going back and forth of like object writing and figuring out what the gist of the song was and like what the melody was going to be and what the chorus was going to be, Kerri kind of like, with all of my word vomiting, she really honed in on like, okay, this is what the song is. And then once we had that, it's easy. Kind of like your puzzle edge piece thing where you don't have to go out anymore. It's like, everything goes in the middle of the piece of the puzzle from now. So that's like one of the joys of co-writing, because like that pressure wasn't on me. I could like give you the idea and give you a little guidance, and then you had a better sense of where it was going.
And I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to see
so
what the puzzle's going to look like.
Yeah, it's so productive. Like, I have an idea and you have an idea, and we get stuck somewhere on something that we can't figure out or we don't know how to do, and then pass it to you. It's great. So I want to make a point on this. When in doubt, overproduce your verses and shred them apart until you have the desired amount, usually 3, for what is going to tell your story the best. If you have too much stuff and you don't know where you're going, like, take the best parts of those and the parts that make the most sense of those, and then just take the other stuff and lay it to the side. Don't throw it away, because you might use it in another song or another idea, but like, overproduce.
Do you mean, because produce is used in other ways too? Like I would say like overwrite or over hack.
I just mean like being overproductive. Like,
gotcha. That makes sense.
In like a song, like, production sense. I mean,
gotcha. I was confused.
It's like a tie-in with this whole object, right? Have too many ideas, throw a bunch of stuff on the wall, and then take what makes sense, and then start making melodies and like flail about with your melodic ideas until you come to something that makes sense. So be overproductive. Is that better?
I think so.
Overproduce. Yeah. I just mean have a lot of ideas and put them all down. So we should talk about this holiday songwriting project.
Yes. So how this came about is I wanted to get serious about my catalog. And we've got a mutual mentor, and he would always say you have to have a prolific catalog. And I would say, what does prolific mean? And he said, you need to write 50, demo 30. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. And so I started writing, and I got 3 songs in and realized there's no way I want to do this by myself. It's not physically possible to do this by myself. And so I pulled in Bronwyn and some other writers, and we wrote our 50 songs and demoed 33.
I think it would have been possible for you to write 50 songs, just not in the amount of time that we did it, because we did it in like 2 months.
And our next episode, we'll talk about the very first song we ever wrote together.
We will see you at the next episode.
Sounds good. See ya.
Follow us on socials and comment below to tell us which demos are your favorites. I'll start. My favorite comedy song is Politics for Dinner, but my favorite tearjerker is Memories of Christmas Time. Your turn. See y'all next time.